Welcome again, this is MGTV, Military Guna TV. Thank you very much for tuning with me. Now I want to get in a bit of details in regard to something. Now, we have already coincided the fact that William Saliba is going out on loan. Now this is the time where we should look into things and say, okay, why is he going out on loan? And what are the repercussions to the team if he should go on loan? Now at this point in time, we have three consistent defenders. That is Gabriel, Holding, and David Luiz. They are the only three outstanding defenders we have at the team right now where we can say, okay, these are the three guys that can do something and can get the job done. Now, moving out William Saliba can be a massive mistake. Reason being, we will end up relying on Chambers, Mustafi. And one of the things I'm sure that we cannot rely on Chambers is that we have seen Chambers play in the under 23 games and he had a worse performance than William Saliba in the under 23 games. And yet still we are relying on someone like Chambers and not relying on William Saliba. Fact of the matter is, I don't believe that this is the time and place for William Saliba to leave or exit the team. Now, there are some factors that I want to look into. It is rumored that Arsenal are looking for making the January transfer window a defender their priority for this coming transfer window. Also, we know for a fact that Dominic Szoboszlai is a target that is almost wrapped up, hopefully. And then now, moving into the summer, we can look forward to see a player like Ozil coming into the team. Also, players like Alexander Lacazette, David Luiz, these type of players to move on in the next summer window coming, in which many Arsenal fans are dying to see because there are quite a few players on our list that we don't need and they're causing massive problems in the club. And that is something that we definitely want to move on from. Now, to my left here, which is your right, is my laptop where I have few information on. So if you see me looking here or going to here, is just getting some information that I might need for this podcast, this content show, whatever. But anyway, I'm going to highlight some smaller minor details that I saw yesterday in relation to what our Arsenal was playing. I already said it in my post-match podcast, so you can see it, and the link is in the description. Now, at some point in time in the video, you will see someone here, that's a soldier here, putting on his mask and then leaving. The reason why he's here is because he's telling you that always wear your mask. It is important to wear your mask. So do what the soldier is saying. Wear your mask. It is essential. Anyways, let me move on into the details of things. Now, the high press. High press that we were doing for a long while. We haven't seen it. The last time Arsenal did high press was against Manchester United, and we did reap some reward. And now we come again extremely flat for about 2 weeks, and then we started high pressing again. Why is that so inconsistent? That is something that Mikel Arteta has to work on because we're seeing results from the high press system. So that is something that Mikel Arteta has to work on. Also, high risk, high reward. For the longest time, I've never seen Arsenal play such a high risk, high reward game, and it is something that should be noted because high risk, high reward means you can be battered or you can win a game. You can be battered or you can win a game. That is what high risk, high reward is. And to be honest, I saw the game against Leeds and I was disappointed, but I was very much encouraged for the fight that these guys show because at the end of the day, we know for a fact that Leeds are the type of team that create many chances and a variety of chances, and they have goal scoring threat from all over the pitch. But yet still, we were able to keep a clean sheet and we were 10 man down from half time. And that is something that we have to look in consideration. This team has bite and this team has grip, and that is something that everyone should consider and look into. Moving on, other factors. Alexander Lacazette, Granit Xhaka. I believe that Alexander Lacazette's time at Arsenal is complete. His time is definitely complete. It's time now for him to move on and seek resurgence of his career at a different club, because at this point in time, it's not working at Arsenal Football Club. He's dipping in form, and not only in form, he's dipping in his quality of play as well, and his personality, his demeanor is also deteriorating amongst the players, and you can feel it, you can sense it. He's playing against FC Mold FK from the Norwegian league and he cannot score a goal, he cannot produce some quality. Now, because he's not scoring, Mikel Arteta realized that he's not scoring, so okay, let me play him a bit deeper since he tends to come deeper. And when he finally played him a bit deeper, it's still a mess, which means that the player himself is in a mess. The player is in such a bad form. I cannot see another resurgence of Alexander Lacazette in Arsenal football team. When I realized I was watching him the entire game, I paid keen attention to him. This morning when I rewatched the game, I paid keen attention to some minute details that many Arsenal fans don't really look at. First thing first, his body language, very bad. He's the captain leading out the team and his body language from the initial save was not good. You can definitely see the players who were up for it and who were ready and raring to go. Alexander Lacazette was not. Even though he was wearing a captain armband, he was not ready to go. And this is the time I do believe I'm getting frustrated of Alexander Lacazette, and I'm getting extremely upset with him now. I'm getting upset at Mikel Arteta for continuously choosing him. This is the time where Alexander Lacazette has to sit on the bench and rethink how he's going to approach the ending of his career, because he's sliding down a massive hill and he's sliding so fast. Normally players at this age of their career, they are at their peak, and until now we haven't seen Alexander Lacazette's peak. And we cannot lament on the fact that he was good at Lyon, because that was back then, that was 4 seasons ago, 4 years ago. The amount of things that took place during that short time span, or during that 4 years, he could have either peaked or he could have either declined. We have seen Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang getting older, getting sharper, getting fitter, getting faster, and more clinical. So there is no excuse for Alexander Lacazette at this point in time. Now, when you look at a player like Pepe, who's playing out his heart, playing out of his skin, trying to get the result, trying to prove to the coach that he's there for a reason. Then now you see players like Willian, who's just here for the money and here for the joyride. There's massive difference, and there's things that Mikel Arteta has to be held accountable for. And a player like Pepe, he stands out, and he was the man of the match in my perspective. I know most people must have agreed with that. Now, moving into the weekend games, and these are my predictions for the weekend games, and I'm hoping that my fantasy Premier League team can get a bit of joy out of this one, because I've been suffering for so long. I have some Chelsea fans in my WhatsApp group where they consistently use Ziyech, Mendy, and Werner and Bruno Fernandes. These 4 players is always in their team, and because of that, they are always mounting massive amount of points. But I can say for a fact that I want something from this, and I'm going to possibly include those players in the team. But as I said, this will be a good weekend for the neutrals and whosoever is watching this game. Now, moving on to the games over the weekend. We have first game. We have Newcastle versus Crystal Palace, where I predict that Crystal Palace may win this 2-1. Then now we have Brighton versus Liverpool early Saturday morning, where Brighton might win this 2-0. Liverpool is going to win this game 2-0. Then now we have Manchester City versus Burnley. Manchester City will win this again 2-0, or maybe 4-0. 4-0 for Manchester City. Then we have Everton versus Leeds. 2 Everton, 2 Leeds, 2. Moving on, we have West Brom versus Sheffield United, where you can say that'll be a rough game, possibly boring as well. West Brom 2, Sheffield United 2. We have Southampton versus Manchester United. Very good game. Southampton 2, Manchester United 1. And that one is a penalty to Bruno Fernandes. Then now we have Chelsea versus Tottenham. And I do believe I want a draw from this game. 2-2. I want a 2-2 draw from this game. Please, football gods, please, 2-2 draw. Then we have Leicester City versus Fulham. Leicester City 0, Fulham 1. We have Arsenal versus Wolves. Arsenal 0, Wolves 0. And a draw for Arsenal. You know we can't win a league game. We're just here for the ride, enjoying ourselves. And then now we'll be so upset again, arguing about creativity, arguing about this, arguing about that, when we know that the players are just not good enough. Then now the final game will be West Ham versus Aston Villa, where West Ham will win this game 2-1. That is it for the match prediction over the weekend. Thank you very much for tuning in. Oh, as I say again, there will be a guy here. Look at that soldier. He's telling you to keep your mask on at all times. Keep your mask on at all times. Believe it. It works. It helps. It stops the spread of the virus. Thank you very much for everything. For tuning again to MGTV. And I'll catch you again next time. I'll try to do the watch along, but my watch alongs will be on Facebook. I'll try to get a bit of fun or a bit of platform on Facebook with the watch alongs as well. I did many on YouTube, so I'll try my best to get some on Facebook as well. Thank you very much for everything, for tuning in. This is MGTV. I'm out.